Good job, Facebook. All right. Mastermind with Neil Schwartz and our special guest, Milton James. Welcome back, Milton. Love to have you. Let's give him a big round of applause. Let's go. All right.
Ooh.
Good job. Good job. Orlando, Florida, correct?
Correct. We cover Central Florida, about 30 to 45 minutes out of Disney World.
All right. So, happiest place on earth, right?
That's right.
Okay. Excellent. So let's make sure that we have Ashley just posted the information, your phone number, email address, so we can get you some referrals. When you send a lead to Milton, he actually responds and works on the lead. We have some agents that don't do that. So don't be one of those, just the mastermind people that are on this call. Don't be one of those people. Okay, Milton, do a little bit of Reader's Digest for those of us that haven't put two and two together yet. What a great guy and what kind of business you do. How long following Mike Ferry and maybe how long in the business?
Yeah, so I've been in the business for 14 years. Got into the business because of a powerful single mom who sent me to my first Mike Ferry retreat about 8-9 years ago. I had a life-changing event. A lot of people find Mike because of those. I went through a divorce. It was a painful thing, and I was just starting out as a real estate agent. And I feel like real estate costed me a lot, but it allowed me to open another universe, or it opened a door to a much bigger opportunity. And I got to meet great people like yourself. So I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, we're thrilled. Thank you.
Yeah.
So a year and a half ago, you definitely were a listing agent. You were taking listings. We talked about maybe raising your price point and stuff like that. But you've been on track with Mike's encouragement and help to do something that most real estate agents can only dream about and never really accomplish. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today. And that's the fact that you're averaging 10 new listings a month. Am I correct?
Yeah. I took 11 this past month. Last month I averaged right around 10. Or excuse me, last year I hit it right around 10 personally.
Right around 10 listings taken. All right.
Yeah.
Most agents don't go on 2 listing appointments a month, and you're taking 10 listings. How many listing appointments do you need to go on to get 10 listings?
I'm batting about 70%. So if I go on 10, I'll take 7. So I'm averaging anywhere from 12 on a very efficient month to, I've been on as many as like 20, 23 in 1 month. My biggest month last year's listings taken was 16. So that was the month that went on 23 appointments.
So Milton, how long in the business?
14 years. Yep,
14 years. All right. So you're not an overnight success. You didn't decide to get up last year and take 10 listings a month for the year, right?
There are no overnight successes. Yeah, I wish that's the biggest fugazi. It's impossible to have an overnight success.
Exactly.
At least.
So just so everybody knows, you're not working with one builder that gave you 100 listings, right?
Oh no, I've got to go and scrape for my listings. Absolutely.
Okay. So where does your business generally come from?
Yeah, thank you, Neil. Great question. I'm about 50-50 expired, cancels, withdrawals, and then and then database. So I'm right down the middle, 50-50 with those.
Got it. Okay. And 14 years ago, did you start building a database?
I got exposed to a gentleman who was more of a hunter in the beginning. And so the mindset that I had coming in was, calling expireds and buy owners. I think more so now I'm really getting into the mindset of customer service and building a great, strong quality database.
You I keep asking these questions around this question, but I'll be straight out with it. How old are you? You
Yeah.
look so young.
Yeah, I identify as a 21-year-old, and so we'll
Okay.
leave it at that. People identify as different things now. I'm 37. I'll be 38 in March, so I am accepting referrals for my birthday on March 16th.
Okay, good job. Excellent.
Thank you.
The reason I bring that up is, a lot of agents say, well, geez, you don't look like this 70-year-old guy or this 60-year-old guy that takes all these listings. You haven't been around that long to build. How big's your
Mhm.
database?
I've got about 1,000 quality people right now.
Okay, good. And you distinguish it by saying quality, not just 1,000 name and numbers.
I've got a 2,500 list, but that's non-quality. I've got 1,000 good quality people. Mike says get to 1,000 as quick as possible. That know you if they pass you at the grocery aisle. That's the 1,000 that I have.
So they recognize you, you recognize them at some level,
Hmm.
and that's the
Hmm.
1,000 people. How long did it take you to
Yeah,
put it
like,
together?
well, yeah, I got to coach with Mike a few years ago, and that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, other than meeting Neil Schwartz. And Mike said, I had all these lists in different places, and he said, pull them all together, and that's your database. So it took me about a year and a half to really clean it up, and I went through it 6 times, every quarter, and I finally got it down to a solid 1,000.
So we all hear the same message, Milton. I've been hearing the same message from Mike and sharing that message for almost 50 years now.
Yeah.
But you're getting it, you hear it, and you take action on it. What's the difference between you and, let's forget about the even average agents. I mean, you're so at 10 listings a month, you're way ahead of the average agent. I mean, you got to still work on getting them priced a little bit better, but
Yeah.
shoot, what a problem. You figured out how to get 100 listings a year, 120 listings a year. Now all you got to do
Yeah.
is clean up that act a little bit, but you're still doing 40, 50, 60 sales a year on the 100.
Yeah, I peaked out at 86 transactions in 2021, and I think everyone did 86 transactions. I really thought I thought I was the guy in the back on the front of the room. I used to be in the back room, but now in front of the room, I'm like, the market was good, but I'm good. I was like, and Mike says, well, be careful, it might be the market. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm great. I'm the best. And then the market smacked me in the face and got humbled, and I was like, holy smokes, Mike was actually referring to me. I got lifted up with the market. So I've been trying to chase that. However, I've realized I have to be better than my lowest version of myself. Meaning, I'm not naturally an 86 deal a year producer personally. I'm more like a 40 to 50 deal a year producer personally. And so I have to enhance my skills to become a 60, 75, 100 deal a year producer personally.
Okay,
So I really emphasize that.
you made a little bit of a joke about I'm really good. And at some
Yeah.
level, we deal with that, all of us in our heads, even though we have great people like Mike Ferry smacking us down every day. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, be humble, be humble. But
Yeah.
how does that work for you? How do you get that done? Because, I don't think there's more than one or two people on average that are taking 10 listings a month
Well, I
over.
know. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know a bunch of them that are taking 15, 20. I mean, I talk to Dan Mum every day, and every time I get a win, he gets another win. So I think for me, I'm humbled by the people I associate myself with, right? So
Interesting.
if I associate with, and I call Neil Schwartz a friend, and I call Robert a friend, and they allow me to call them that, I feel like I'm going to pick up your strength, right? So like you and Robert, you guys are such great leaders. That's probably where I struggle. So I'm trying to become better at that. And I think by association, that humbles me.
Okay. Well, you want to make sure that you're not the smartest, richest guy you're hanging around with.
I'm definitely not the smartest and richest guy I hang around with.
Good.
Like
Good.
if your friends don't make you uncomfortable, you're with the wrong friends.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Good stuff. Excellent. Okay. So business is coming from expireds. It's coming from canceled. It's coming from withdrawns. Uh, I mean, you use the same scripts as everybody else does, or you have a magic script. I mean, what's your deal?
Yeah, I just understand the numbers game, right? So I'm going through a process of going from a hunter to a servicer. So instead of my goal before was I have to leave the tribe and go hunt buffalo. I got to find one appointment, kill, kill, kill. Now I'm leaving the tribe to go find someone to serve, serve, serve. I'm going from a killer to a servant,
So
and
tell me
I
more.
literally
Tell me more about that. What does that mean to you?
you're Mike's original coaching client, correct?
Yeah.
Why did you stay with him that long?
Well, some people just say I'm not smart.
And the not the more not smart we are, the smarter
I,
we
I'm
become, or the
I'm
richer we
te-
become.
I'm yeah. I'm
I
teasing.
would say, Mike gave you great service over these long years, and you
Uh,
stuck with him. So I have to
Amazing.
do,
Look, amazing service.
yeah,
Um, I could have pushed him away. He could have pushed me away at any given time in our relationship. Okay.
yeah,
Because those of you that know Mike Ferry, he's not a warm and fuzzy guy. Okay.
mhm,
He will do
yeah,
anything he can and will to help you.
hmm,
But if you come at him like, you should treat me better or you should treat me different, forget it. You're out
yeah,
on your ear. And I've seen him get rid of a lot of agents and brokers that way. But
yeah.
it absolutely great customer service, great relationship. Um,
And it
and
really, but can I say quickly
please,
about that? Where it clicks to me as I'm naturally a hunter, right? But I have to like create myself to be a servicer. So if I can figure out a way to make a hunter become a servicer, now I could find 1,000 people to give world-class Ritz-Carlton like customer service, and that 1,000 people should return us 100 deals. I'm only getting 20 deals from my database every year, so that's a 2% return, right? So I have to become better than the 2% version. I have to get to 10%. So that's what I'm working on.
wait a minute. When you say that, um, you're saying that your database is only giving you that 1,000 people are giving you 20 deals.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So, um, how what's world-class service look like to you?
Probably being honest from the jump. I tend to become amiable in front of the seller, and I I, I work with Tony Smith now, and what we've discovered is that last 2 to 3 minutes in the presentation. I did the presentation on stage a year ago. What I noticed is I'm perfect up until the last 2 minutes, but it's the last 2 minutes that is costing me thousands of dollars, right? So, um,
And
for
that
example,
is in not closing correctly and not standing firm on the price enough,
not following the script.
not following the script.
Because
So
it's
what
in
you're
there.
so what you're saying to me, and there are groups right now, is that you follow the scripts to the best of your ability, and you
90%.
90%. Okay. And that other 10% is costing you a fortune.
Yeah, because I just want to leave. I just want to get out of there. Like, okay, what price do you feel? They say the price. I'm like, okay, whatever, sign. And I
Okay.
figured
And
I
that's
can
the
I can get it
hunter.
later.
That's the hunter that comes out. Let's get this done. Let's check this off. Let's move on
Yeah,
to the next. I have another appointment in an hour.
yeah. So I stopped setting multiple appointments on the same day. Today is all about you, Mr. Seller. Do you have to go? Nope. I'm all yours.
Wow. Well, that's fascinating. So you're not going from appointment to appointment to appointment as far as the listing appointments, right?
Neil, I've gone from tequila shots to fancy glasses of wine. That's another reference you'll get later.
Okay.
We're bringing in the champagne. We're going high end. We're high
Good for
quality.
you. Good for
Yeah,
you.
caviar. Yeah, I like it.
Hey, I have a question. But then this is kind of off track slightly. What do you do, if anything, with your cell phone when you sit down in the appointment?
Well, thank you for asking. I leave it in the car, and I had an appointment with my assistant one time, and her cell phone is like one of those that blink, the flash. I took it and I threw it outside. She never came on an appointment again. I really think it's rude to have your cell phone. Yeah, like if I was buying a Mercedes or Ferrari or something, and they had their cell phone, I'd probably walk out. It's just rude.
Got it. Got it. Well, I think we're all guilty of that at some point, but we
Yeah.
turn it upside down so nobody can see what's coming in, right?
Well, it's like if you're on a date with your wife the first time and she's texting another guy, that's not good.
Especially if she's your wife.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. Very, very good. Hey, so all right. Big question is what can I do as a agent? You got a couple of things. A starting agent and then an agent that's doing 2 or 3 listings a month but wants to go to 6 or 8. Okay. What are there different things I need to do? Tell me what the activities are that you've
Um,
done.
yeah, thank you. I mean, it's different phases that, like I'm going through the phase of becoming good at pricing property. I'm really bad at pricing property right now. I'm maybe getting 60 to 70% of them sold. Before I was at 40 to 50%. So it's still an improvement. Before I became, I've had a couple people say I'm a world-class prospector, or I can prospect for 10 hours a day. I mean, before that, and I appreciate that. It's not true, but some people have said it. I literally would sweat prospecting in front of the computer with nobody watching, just panic attacks. You just have to inch it in, grow inch by inch. So if you can make one contact to mom today, maybe tomorrow you make 2 contacts, and every day you just make one more contact that you're comfortable with. So I think it starts with contacts. And then if you can figure out a way to get to 50 contacts a day, super low quality, then you could figure out how to get 1 lead a day, then figure out how to set 1 appointment a day, then get on an appointment a week, then 2, then 3. It's really just progressing. Contacts, leads, appointments, listings taken. And then again, I'm going through the process of willing to be bad at this process to be good at pricing. So one day I will be a 90% listing sold guy, but I'm not yet. It's just part of the process.
Just part of the process. And you trust the
Yeah,
process. You trust the people
completely with
around you.
blind faith. 100%.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
the neat part for blind faith today, isn't it? It's for us, it's not so blind. When I went to my very first superstar retreat 1,000 years ago in Newport Beach, California, um, he could only find one agent doing 50 deals that
yeah,
he could get to come to the retreat. And that gal was named Dodie Donahue. Um,
yeah,
the only agent that did 50 deals. Now he's
yeah.
got a room full of agents that do 50 deals, right?
Well, I did 50 deals last year and I was depressed about it. So yes, that's definitely true. And
Right.
I'm so happy to say that I did 50 and my girlfriend did 50, right? So,
Ah,
yeah. but I'm also chasing 100 myself, right? So, Nora
right.
did just under 50 deals last year, and my ego wants me to do 100, and I'm willing to be wrong for that certainty.
Um, that's great. Good stuff. Excellent. So, okay, so we need to prospect. It's first of all, it's getting the leads. It's okay to be wrong and look foolish, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. What about
100%.
pricing? Well, what about previewing property and knowing product knowledge? Does that have a value to you?
So my former coach, who I'll give all the credit in the world, he worked with me for the last 2 to 3 years, and his name's Ira Nadich. And I'll tell you, have you ever had a situation where something clicked that your former coach told you, but then the new coach or the new situation gets credit for? So I'm having some pricing success now, and I got to say it's completely everything, including previewing property that Ira told me to do, that I'm a slow learner. So I'm finally starting to do the things that he said, and I'm still starting to do things that Mike told me to do, and all former coaches. So it's just there's a gap, there's a time lapse in it. So everything that we learned from all of our coaches, it helps us get more profit.
I hear all the time that the student, excuse me, the student is ready when the ferry appears.
Which ferry? Wait, I don't listen to all the ferries.
I
Yeah,
can relate. Well, you'll
yeah.
find that I'm not even friends with the other ferries. I'm afraid Mike's going to come look at my computer and find somebody else on the computer.
I got to tell you, we became close with Mike's grandson, Matthew's son, and Tom's son, and
Uh-huh.
they're amazing. And the
Great
things they
kids.
say about their dad, the things they say about their dad. I mean, Mike created all of us, and I'm sure they're amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Okay, so now, so what's the day have to look like for somebody that's not doing 10 listings? I mean, when I think about this, 10 listings a month, I mean, it's almost incomprehensible. That's why I want to keep bringing you back to the days when you did 2, 3, 4 listings a month.
I will say there's no difference. It's a mental thing. For example, what I used to focus on is how, when I first got into real estate, how can I make 100K a year? Right? That's usually the focus. Like you're focused
Right.
on the money. Then it was like, okay, how can when you hit 100, for some reason we think we can go to 250. Yeah, like I'm gonna make $250,000. So how can I go to 250? Then you go to 250. For some magical reason, our mind goes, well, shit, if I could do 250, I could do 500,000, not knowing that's a double. Like it's almost impossible unless you just buy all the business, or you live in California. Then you hit 500,000. Then you're like, you know what? No, it's about 750 or 6 or 20%, like Mike says. We want to go from 500,000 to 1 million, which
Mhm.
I'm guilty of because we have coaches that tell us these things. The point is, it's going to take longer than we expect, and it's going to be much harder than we expect, right? So what I've started doing is just, and I got this from Mike directly, is just follow the daily schedule and try to set one qualified appointment today. And then, you ever see at 4 o'clock, he's just like, I'm done. I mean, there's like 20 more pages of notes, but I'm done.
Right.
So I'm trying to follow a perfect schedule in a day, but I'm also leaving nothing on the field. Like I'm going full stream, all out until 5, 6 o'clock, and then we're exhausted. Then we just can't collapse. But the point is, where was my point? I was trying to say, if we set one qualified appointment a day, I mean qualified appointment, and you get on, Mike always said, get on 10 appointments in a month. That's 50 deals
Right.
at minimum. And then based on your price point, you're making what, 250, 500,000, 2 million. Dude, some of these guys are making 10 million a year. Like it's crazy to me. But it's the same process as setting an appointment. Make contacts, get a lead, set an appointment.
That's fantastic, Milton.
It's not rocket science. It's so freaking simple. I mean, if you really think about that, you know, there's people on this planet that have created engines. They go to space. They're construction workers. I'm looking at a homeless guy right now. Like I'm standing here in the air conditioning in a suit with sparkling water, and I just got to talk to people, and 90% of them are going to tell me no. Oh my God, that's so hard. It's so simple.
That's a great thought. Absolutely. You bet. So, what books are you reading? What do you pour into your mind on a regular basis?
So thank you. So being part of the organization, Mike said recently, plug in harder to your mastermind groups, your role plays, your accountability partners. So right now I'm trying to get a book a week. I listen to books. I can't read for the life of me. I'll go backwards. So I just finished Grit. I'm reading, listening to Essence of Success by Earl Nightingale. Nora is reading The Ritz-Carlton Effect. Um, Anytime I could touch something, I always have this book in front of me, Positive Thoughts. great reminders of what just anything. I have to stay active. I get bored easily.
Got it. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any podcasts you're listening to?
Yours, your podcast, the Mike Ferry podcast. I watch, I listen to Robert Hertel talk all. I mean, he's such a great leader. That man is amazing.
You
Um,
bet.
I listen to my coaching calls every day while I prospect. I'm trying to pour in like as much information. I'll record it. If I call you, I typically will record it and I'll listen to it back. Just anything, I'll find a top producer, Josh Barker. We were watching his interview the other day. I mean, just anything about getting better. Like, how can I do one more deal and give one more client better service?
That's great. That's great. You mind answering some questions?
Sure.
All right, let's open it up. Milton James, questions for Milton. Raise your hand or just chime in. Let's go. There's no such thing as no
So,
question.
Milton, here's a question I have for you. And first of all, really appreciate the compliments. And I got to tell you, it's definitely a two-way street in terms of our conversations. Actually, for those of you that don't know, I had lunch with Milton and Nora and created a whole training class based around the lunch I had with them. So certainly learn just as much from you as you do from me. What is your lead
I
follow?
appreciate
Because
that.
you say you're and I believe you, but you say you're this great prospect or you're a hunter. So when you get a lead, what does lead follow up look like for you?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. So I believe in the concept of the 7-day rule. So if a hot lead is someone 7 days, we'll call those people every one day. So if they're a week out, they get a call every one day. I also believe that some people have a 30-day timeline, so they get called every week. I also believe that certain people have a quarterly deal, so they'll get called every month. And then everyone else in the database, they get calls every 90 days. I don't know if you ever read the chapter on customer service. Well, Mike writes in there that we should have a call split after a transaction. So a 1, 7, 30, 90 is mentally what I do.
All right, good. Excellent. Great question, Robert. Thank you. Good answer. Milton, who's got another question here? Come on,
I have one.
please
Hey,
go
Milton.
ahead.
So just wondering, do you get days where, when you're putting out the work and then, or a week you're putting out the work, but, the results are not where you expected in terms of actual production listing taken or appointments set, but you have all these bunch of other wins, but but you're letting the losses weigh you down, and how would you handle that if you're in that kind of situation?
Thank you for the question, Jack. So are you, just so I understand, are you saying if I have days where wins are happening, but I'm not getting the results I want?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
Brother, that was the last 2 years, big dog. So, I went from 86 transactions to 65, 68 the last 2 years. And then last year I hit 49. So that's humbling. But it's a gift, right? So, they say failure is the person that falls off the horse and doesn't get up. Brother, like these last 2 years have made me the strongest agent possible. Think about it. A couple years ago, I could do 100 contacts a day in the summer and make 100 grand and then boom, that's it. I don't care about anything else. Now I care, even more because when the market shifts down, now we have to give better customer service. We have to hold on to the people that trust us, like us, love us. So these last 2 years has forced me to become start thinking about good customer service, start holding my assistant accountable, start pricing properties better, because before I could just choose a price and the market will catch up. Now the market's going down, so now I have to get it sold. So that's the difference between a past client and an expired listing who hires my non-friend from another company who I don't like, right? So that the market to get better. So I think just focusing on that opportunity. It's like, all right, so this kind of sucks right now. I got all these bills piling up, closings aren't happening. Oh my God, what do I do? You just have to keep learning. every month now. I'm reading the Mike Ferry sales system. I'm trying to get better at pricing, which is chapter 7. There's 21 points in the system, so I'm only in the 7th level essentially. 21 more to go.
Got it. Thank you.
Hey, Milton, I just thought of something that might really annoy you and put you into real action.
Yeah.
So if I was an agent in your market, I would look around at the properties that are expiring the most, and then I would follow those agents to work on getting their expires.
Yeah.
You're keeping a whole group of agents in business, my friend. Does
Yeah,
that, does that bother? Whoa, doesn't that bother you?
the good agents are building teams, so they're no longer agents. But I definitely, it does bother me. Tony, my coach, pointed that out. So that's why for the last 2 years, I've been working on pricing. Every 90 days, I thought I fixed it, and then the market keeps dropping. So, I mean, it's like I'm not working on it, but it's, yeah, of course it bothers me. It bothers the heck out of me.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm going to give you a call next week. We'll focus in on that.
Yeah.
I find that if you can aggravate a top agent like yourself enough in a particular area, it puts them into action at a higher level.
100%. Aggravate is not the word. Listen, and here's the thing. Okay, I have a friend of mine. He's like, "Why do you talk about this so much? You're being a little negative." I was like, "You know how many agents come on these podcasts or interviews and tell you how great they are? Like, I think most, agents with these big teams, they're lying to us. I'd rather just be honest about, Mike says in order to be held accountable, you have to tell the world about your goals. I mean, the difference between me doing 50, 60 deals and 100, 120 is pricing. I've identified the problem. So I talk about it.
That's good. Excellent.
I would challenge everyone on this call to look in the mirror today and ask, what's the biggest problem I have? Most of you is picking up the phone and calling people probably. Some of them is probably only working 3 hours a day when they should be working 8 hours a day.
Great thought. Absolutely. Hey, Martin, you had a question for Milton?
Milton, thank you, buddy. Amazing mom and the lady. It's not
Thank
hard
you,
as
Martin.
always. Great people pushing you. Spend some time with your mom on the production. You mentioned be humbled by associations. How did you find those associations that make you uncomfortable?
Thank you. So thank you for the question, Martin. I'll say, I've been put in a position by Mike and Neil and all these great people that, being part of MFO, Mike pulled me in his schedule and he's been very nice to me, shouts me out from the stage, and I appreciate it. So, I'm a friendly guy. So naturally I've made a lot of friends with people front row, and for one reason or another, they gravitate to me and we became friends. So I guess just working hard, attracting great people, but now I have to earn the right to stay friends with those people. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. Really well said. Good
Yeah, I
job.
didn't
Gonzalo, you have a
intentionally.
question for Milton? Sorry, Milton, you were saying?
I have a
No, I
question
didn't-
here, Neil.
Okay.
Milton, I was late to the call. I don't know if you touched on this, but I'm curious. What is the activity of our job that you like the least, and how do you deal with that?
Good job. Great question. Thanks, Gonzalo.
Yeah, I actually don't like confrontation. So like if an inspection or something or an appraisal and I have to call the seller to tell them bad news, I that's usually the 6:30 p.m. on Friday call. I guess that's my amiable side coming out.
Yeah. Well, Milton, you're in good company. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
How do you get
I
over
like
that?
being the hero. I like being the hero.
Lido, go ahead.
Yeah.
So sorry.
definitely.
How do you get over that? 'Cause I have the same weakness.
Well, first of all, if I had waves like you, I wouldn't have that issue. You look great. I just have to do it more, man. It's just massive action. Massive action is the cure all. Mike always said, prospecting solves every problem. It's just massive. I just have to do it more often.
Awesome. I got a question if I can, Neil.
Please.
I'm interested to know what you do to separate yourself from the competition, knowing that you're strictly going after expireds and, they're interviewing multiple agents and it seems like you're mastering, beating out the other agents. Can you give me an example?
Well, I'm not mastering anything. Thank you for saying that. I will say if I'm going up against, and it's very rare that we're going up against the same agent in Orlando, because like I said, all the great agents. See, the thing is with this thing about building teams, it's fine, but everyone, if they get a taste of success, wants to build a team. I'm completely anti that because think about it, bro. You can get here in 1 meter or you can get here in 2. So if you do a deal, it's 50%. And I know you can scale it, but I don't know. I just feel like it's just a waste. So the good agents in my market are distracting themselves by building these massive teams, and it's so hard to do. I kind of lost myself on that one. but
basically no teams for you. Right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, if we build a team, Nora's going to be in charge of that, and she is the nice one of us. And I'd rather to differentiate myself, I will sit here and make up to 100 contacts a day if my life depended on it.
Good for you. Good stuff. Good information. Thanks for the question, Leo. Okay, other
I
questions?
have a question.
Go ahead, Rochelle.
So you're saying that you're overpricing property.
Speak up, Rochelle.
So you said your problem is overpricing property. Are you overpricing it or is your client overpricing it?
Yeah, thank you. It's probably the way I was doing my CMAs because it used to be active pending sold, and I try to be priced where the solds are. And I guess I wasn't smart enough to realize the market was dropping. So instead of going in where the solds are, which that was the market 3 months ago, the pendings are cheaper than the solds and the actives are way cheaper than the pendings. So now, actually, I really wish someone would have sent me this list. Mike actually did a report back in 2006, republished it last year, and then I'm just studying the heck out of this 40 points on how to get your listing sold. I don't know if you guys seen that, but no one ever told me that for you to get sold, you have to be number 1 or 2 position on an active listing. So if there's
In
5
the price
actives,
range.
in the price, sometimes people tell you something, you hear it differently, and then you have to tell yourself something, and then you got to hear it the way you have to hear it. So I'm a self-discoverer. So you probably said it to me 14 times, Neil. But it's just I was pricing according. Yeah, I was pricing according to the souls. Now I'm trying to price. Full disclosure, in January I listed 11 and put 9 under contract, so it's getting better. But it would have been this time last year. It would have been 10 listings taken, 5 under contract. So
one second, Iris. So to clarify what you just said, please restate it and how you present to get those numbers.
I used to present active pending and solds based on the solds. What price do you feel we should use? Now I'm presenting active pending and solds. You can see it's dropping based on the actives. What price should we use to get your sold at position 1 or 2 instead of those others?
Got it.
That's the shift.
Interesting.
And that's the thing. I move at such a high level as far as contacts, leads, appointments. I can out prospect anyone in the country. I'm the best prospector in the country, but I'm probably the worst 50%. I'm in the 50% 50 percentile of pricing property. Talk to me in 3 months. It might be different. But that's just it. Just like a great athlete, Michael Jordan, when he came to the league, he was a terrible 3-point shooter. Then he became the best 3-point shooter.
Right.
I consider myself a Michael Jordan. I'm in that caliber.
Well, we agree.
It's not, and it's not overconfidence. It's just I do the work. I'm sitting here by myself, role playing, practicing, chanting. But I'll put the work in because I get encouraged by people like Neil Schwartz.
Oh, that's nice. But no one else is doing your work ethic anywhere near me.
Well, Dan Mum works harder than I. He's way more disciplined than I do. Jeff Hyland, way more disciplined. DK, way more disciplined. Marlene Ritzman, probably one of the best, if not the best salesperson I know. Iris Call, the most intense salesperson I know. But those are the people I'm striving to be like.
Awesome. Good stuff. Okay. Any other questions?
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, please.
I'm not trying to be like the guy with the black T-shirt with the hair and the baseball cap. That's not the guy I want to be like.
Who's
Examples like
Who's that?
just the casual guy, like I want to be like Neil Schwartz when I grow up. That's my point. Yeah.
You know what? You're a really good salesman. The BS meter is going off here, but you're a great salesman. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so what else we got for Milton?
I have a question, Neil.
Oh, sorry, Iris. Yes, Iris.
Thank you so much, Milton, for sharing your information. So my question is, you
Absolutely.
mentioned about you had challenge in pricing. My question is, what do you think it caused you to price off? Was it because you wanted to take the listing, overprice it, or was it because you used a different approach in your CMA?
Yes.
So you mean
All
both?
of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm competitive. Here's the thing. I had a coach who was amazing who told me, get the listing, we'll work on the price reduction later. Okay. That used to work. It stopped working, right? So, like my new coach says, when you choose to play in the expired, canceled, withdrawn game, you have a very short window of opportunity to keep them happy. And so, I used to do 30-day listings. Now I do 6 months to a year. I used to, tell them what they want to hear to get the listing, to beat my friend who I knew was going up against the listing. It's a sport, listing property. I think is a highly competitive sport. And initially I could get a listing, get a price reduction, and then, that would be it. But now I'm just like Mike says in his report, tell them the truth up front, if not taking the price reduction, and then, try to get, 5% under the cheapest active. So everything you said, yes.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, I would read that report. I mean, if you're gonna look at that report, how to get a listing sold, it's a great report. It's 40 points on pricing properly.
All right, we'll get that and get it out to everybody. Work on that later today. Good stuff.
I have one question.
Go ahead, Tyrone.
Yeah, Milton, you mentioned that you made a shift from hunting to servicing. What were some of the things you put in place to bring up that level of service?
It's just shutting my. It's what I say. It's really. If you guys aren't on Mornings with Mike, he said, stop saying you're a hunter, so just start saying you're a servicer. It's like an affirmation. So it's more of a mind shift.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so nothing you actually did to your database, more it was really a mindset shift that you made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
I have a question, just one more question.
Go ahead.
You said that you prospected for 8 hours a day, or you're very confident in your prospecting. Is it because you're willing to put in more work, you would say? Is that your main reason for
I just have a belief that like my mom came to this country and she cleaned 4 or 5 houses a day. And as a real estate agent, we put our tie on, we've got, we look good. We don't have to work that hard. So all we have to do is have the discipline to start at a certain time and end at a certain time, and treat it like an 8-hour actual job. At the last retreat, Mike said, Well, is there any company that would pay you the amount of money you make, in your market? And probably no, So we have to
Wow.
show up, even if it's a bad quality workday. If you're there for 8 hours, something's going to happen. Unless you're just calling everyone and just cursing them out. It's impossible for you not to run into a deal.
So
Thank you.
Milton, did,
Great
did,
thought. Go ahead,
did you,
Iris.
thank you, Neil. Did you have an assistant along with you when you were able to prospect 8 hours, 10 hours a day?
Yeah. I mean, I have an assistant. We have a very good assistant and great assistant, I would say. And yeah, you need help. I mean, we have so many. You go to Starbucks, the girl makes your coffee, that's an assistant. The lady that cleans your house, that's an assistant. Car wash. So there's assistants all over us, right? So as far as a real estate assistant, we do have an assistant.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Any others?
Yeah, I have a question. Hi, Milton.
Okay.
What's up, man? How are you?
Thank you. Good. Thank you. Thanks so much, man. And I appreciate everything you're doing right now. And the thing when you mentioned that you made that change, and Tyrone kind of covered what I was going to ask you. But the question that when you said you changed your mind and the way you approach the client from a hunter to a servant, because this is the part I want to get to. A lot of the time we identify ourselves with a certain way, right? How we treat the client, how we do everything. Have you been putting a plan in place what a servant does? And instead of the way you used to approach the business, being a hunter?
Yeah, I think more instead of, I've got 20 listings right now. So instead of trying to get all the calls out on Fridays, for example, just trying to split it out, 5 customer service calls a day. Nora, she's developing like a really nice, after listing thank you package. So we're just trying to give, if we see something like a title company does, we're just going to try to rip off and duplicate.
Got it. Great thought. Good stuff. Excellent. All right. Well, let's give
If
Milton
I-
James a big hand here. Woo! All right. Good job. Good job.
Thank
Good
you,
job,
everyone.
Milton.
Appreciate
Really.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Milton.
you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Milton.
okay, good stuff. Milton, what we're going to do now is we're going to go around, take a few minutes and go around the room and ask people what they learned. You're welcome to hang around. I get it that you need to get back on the phones. So either way, that would be good. And it's Nora. No, is it pronounced Nora?
Well, Nahora, but the H is silent. So yeah.
Oh, Nora. Okay, good job. Anyway, I want to chat with her a little bit later, if that's okay, Milton.
Of course.
Good. All right, good. So would you give me your text number so I can, you know what? I'll get it from Milton. All right, thank you. All right, so what did we
To pose a
learn? Martin, you want to go
question.
first?
I want to do a personal shout out. It's great to log in by the way, we're Pacific, Milton is Eastern. It's great to log in at 6 a.m. and he's on Zoom. And it's 3:30 our time and he's still on Zoom. Colleague, thank you. You're the reason thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Oh,
And
that's great.
you're one of the reasons along with Nahora and Mom. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Appreciate you sharing that. Excellent. Okay, what else did we learn today?
I love his persistence and great work ethic. I think that's a great example from Milton there.
You know, I say this all the time. Juan, you've heard this from me. I'm sure Milton's heard this. In life, you're either a warning or you're an example. My friend Milton, you are an amazing example. And we really appreciate it. You walk the walk, you talk the talk. You're all over the internet prospecting, doing things. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, you help make my job slightly easier, and that's very appreciated from me.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. What else do we learn today? Let's go. Anybody else besides me want to go out and get 10 listings today? Or I guess it's this month, sorry, this month. All right.
I like that he said, at one point he said, so at some point he would have started maybe out with having panic attacks, and then, just make a call, make the first call, maybe your mom, and then make 2 more calls. And then, you work up to 10 and then 20. And next thing you know, you're doing 50. And so, but it's not easy for anybody to start out.
Yeah.
One
you.
call at a time, right,
Preach.
Milton?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, Milton, somebody asked what kind of dialer that you use. Do you do single phone, multiple phone?
Am I allowed to say I use a triple line dialer? Because if I'm not allowed to say that, I don't use a triple line dialer.
Don't say it because you don't want it to come back and bite you.
No, I use a single line dialer,
Good job.
and I just do I do click to calls, and I never hang up on people.
Okay, good.
And
Good to hear. Excellent. Okay. Others, what did we learn today?
We need to make more shifts in our mindset.
Absolutely. For sure, for sure. You know what I'd like to share? To me, 10 listings a month is a big number for anybody. Okay. And Milton, you have such a way about you that you kind of nonchalantly make it, this is just the deal. This is what we do. This is how we do it, and you just roll along. I know there's more that goes on. That's kind of why I want to talk to Nora, that's going on behind the scenes. But it's spectacular because so many of us make such a big deal out of, oh my God, you have to do 35 contacts today. And Neil, do you know how long it takes to preview 5 properties a day, 5 days a week, and door knock 10 around? Do you have any idea? Yeah, I do. I know exactly how long it takes. And those that are doing it make money, and those that don't aren't. And you've taken it, Milton, to just a completely different level.
there's nothing else to do, Neil. I don't know how else to sell houses. TikToks, YouTube, or just talk to people.
So I don't know that we asked this question. Behind the scenes, transaction coordinators, who do you throw the ball to, so to speak?
Her name is Andrea, and she packs a gun. She's our protector. She drives. She does everything. No, she's awesome.
You throw the ball to her. She's been trained by you of how you want it to look, and that gets it.
Yeah. She's our main glue. She's our glue person. And then of course Nora helps out because we are understaffed. Because between Nora and I, we did 93 deals last year, so we have we're not the Josh Barker built out team. We're a freaking mess right now, and we all feel it, and that's okay. Because for you to be Holly,
but profitable.
I think we could be more profitable, absolutely. But yeah, because we're in that mid market, right? So we're not making we're not at $1 million per sale by any means, but that, like you have coached, we talk all the time, and we're getting to that, and it's just a matter of focusing on it. And I think Tony Smith definitely helped me identify why, because my market is so big, I have to wean it down to 30 minutes.
So yeah, my favorite saying is, to get bigger, you have to get smaller.
She said, yeah.
No, that's the deal. Absolutely. So we can talk more about that another time. We'll share where that comes from. Okay, let's give him a big hand. Milton James, baby. Good job. Thank you.
Good job.
I appreciate you. I appreciate Nora. Thank you for all that you guys do, and how we're helped by just being able to see what look like normal, spectacular people that do what they're supposed to do on a regular basis, you know, doing an amazing job. Thank you, guys. Really, really cool. Okay. Appreciate that. We have Frank, you're on at 1 o'clock. Lupe, 1:30. Frank at 2. Daisy at 2:30. Gonzalo. You got a 3 o'clock, and then Robert's doing a class on coming up with multiple ways of handling objections, a particular objection. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's do this. Lito, did I ask you how many properties you previewed today? I can't hear you, buddy.
Today I haven't been out.
How
But
many
yesterday
how many did you preview yesterday?
5. I previewed 5.
Okay, we did talk about that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we still got a few hours. Let's go get some more previewing done, everybody.
Don't forget to turn off Facebook, Neil.
Oh, I will turn that off. Miguel, how many properties you preview today?